After completing the monowater hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Crystal, we asked ourselves what would be another monotype squad that could handle the heat all the way to Red himself. Thus, we picked one of our favorites, Flying. So, dear viewer, grab your grains and your bird cages, cause we're about to win this Nuzlocke with flying colors. We started our adventure by picking Cyndaquil, doing the mandatory Mr. Pokemon fetch quest, and getting access to Pokeballs, which we promptly used to get the true starter of our run on Route 29, Normie the Pidgey. After releasing the now useless Cyndaquil to the wild, we proceeded to catch the next few encounters relevant to our run. Rapto the Fearow on Route 46, Sleeper the Caterpie on 30, Fluff the Hoppip on 31, Corbius the Zubat in Dark Cave, and All-Nita the Hoot on Route 36 at night. At which point, we had exactly a full team of 6 for the first gym leader, Falkner, who also happened to be a flying type enjoyer. The first thing we thought of looking at our roster was, how is any of these morons ever going to be a match for the Pidgeotto? Now, the level 9 bird was obviously way stronger than our Pokemon, but what Falkner has in strength, we have in family. Here's how we do it. We lead with Hoppip and we spam Tail Whip, and this is the only value we are ever going to get from the grass type in this fight. Once we are low on health, we go to Rapto and one shot with Peck. Pidgeotto comes out, we click Growl 3 times, then we go Normie and Sand Attack a few times, then we go to Corbius and confuse it with Supersonic, then we go All-Nita. Now with all these debuffs, All-Nita should be able to 1v1 the big bird, which it thankfully manages to do. Even the strongest hurdles can be overcome by teamwork and Sand Attack RNG, but mostly teamwork. After completing the first gym, Professor Elm Assistant in the Violent City Pokemon Center gives us a Pokemon egg, which we hatch into a Togepi named Exactly that we immediately evolve into Togetic with Friendship. We then head into Union Cave, making sure to pick up the old rod on the way so we can catch our next encounter inside. Maybe a new face for this run, but quite sure a seasoned customer of the Poke-Rebel shop. The one, the only, Gyarados the Magikarp. With these new encounters in hand, we quickly dispose of Team Rocket and the Slowpoke well and head to the next real challenge of this run, Gym Leader Bugsy. Now, despite this guy being at a type disadvantage, Scyther's stats are way above our stuff, which makes this actually very dangerous. We lead Sleeper, who easily beats Metapod, inviting in the dangerous Scyther. We manage to put it to sleep and switch to All-Nita. Thankfully, Scyther sleeps long enough for us to growl it down and peck it to death. The incoming Kakuna is then no match for us. Second badge, so far, so good. The rival fight in an Azalea can sometimes be tricky, but this time around, Croconaws' water moves are no match for Fluff, who's now a Skiploom and can stall it with Poison Powder, opening the next split for us. We thus head straight into Whitney's gym, which once again has a Pokemon that is way better than ours in terms of sheer power, with the added help of a super effective move against Flying in Rollout and a healing move in Milk Drink. Similar to what we did on Falkner, we lead Fluff. This time around, however, we use Poison Powder and spam healing for Poison Chip before going All-Nita. We take the Clefairy down. Miltank comes in. Here's the plan we have for this. Spam Mud Slap, sack the Owl, and hope and pray Miltank ends up missing one of the high damage rollouts. We go for it, and thankfully Miltank misses before Noctowl falls, at which point we go Normie and use Sand Attack to debuff its accuracy even further, which we do not end up doing because Stomp takes more than 50% of our health. We just go Exactly from there and use Charm to lower its attack and confuse it with Sweet Kiss. Then we switch into Butterfree, seeing how Sleep Powder and Confusion does not do much in terms of damage potential. We poison the cow instead and use Gyarados and Butterfree to brawl with it and play around a track. Even this neutered version of Miltank proves to be very tough to beat, but we end up doing it deathless. An absolutely brutal fight for sure. However, no matter how tough a battle can be, we must go on. After failing to catch a Yanma encounter on Route 35, we go to National Park, where the bug catching contest gives us Home Slice the Scyther. Now Scyther is a mon with decent stats and all, but we were not super duper excited about it. Maybe it could be a brawler in some fights and be sacked late game, we supposed, and let's talk about what happened in due time. For now, we are to face Gym Leader Morty. We lead Rapto, which beats Ghastly and Haunter and Bates and Gengar. We chip the Gengar down and switch out of Dream Eater. Thankfully, Gengar misses Hypnosis twice, and we use Mud Slap twice to lower its accuracy. And then we go Sleeper for the sole purpose of saving the Mince Berry Noctowl was holding for later. Butterfree gets put to sleep, which allows us to safely go Corbius on a Dream Eater and win from there with Bites. Very clean Morty fight. With Morty down, we can get HM Surf and continue on our merry way. We also take a detour back to Route 37 to get Dots the Ladybug, go to Route 43 to find a Farfetch, and fail to catch it. Why the heck are the garbage Pokemon the hardest ones to catch? Whatever, we surf to Route 49 and catch Boeing the Mantine, a great Pokemon thanks to its special defense stat of 140 and better special attack than fellow water-type Gyarados. Now we are all set to fight the fighting-type leader, Chuck. We lead Home Slice, which one-shots Primeape, easily tanks a Surf and two-shots Poliwrath. Extremely clean, but more importantly, it showed us that we might have underestimated this slice of life enjoyer. But again, more on that later. For now, we go to face 6 Gym Leader Price, where we sweep Seal and Dugong with Gyarados and pass the Mantine on Piloswine for a very easy W. Not too shabby for a monotype that's supposed to be weak to ice. Next gym is Janine, and we actually were scared of Magnemite with their Thunderbolts. We send out All-Nita, which managed through Mudslap RNG to dodge every Thunderbolt ever. Now, for the record, All-Nita has good enough special defense to withstand 1, maybe even 2 T-Bolts from those things. But we are definitely not complaining. Once Steelix comes out, Mantine is just a free win. 7 badges and we are still ballin'. Before we move on to the more exciting Pokemon fights, here's a question for you. What is the common denominator between the real world, YouTube, and the Johto region? Correct. All of the 3 are full of scams. Whether it's a sleazy man with the fedora selling you snake oil, a comment pretending to be your favorite content creator asking you to join a Telegram group, or a Pokemon pretending to have a huge niche that they don't. Every place has its own bad faith actors, and we were about to encounter a few of them in the Scam Arc. First, we went to Ice Path at night, where we caught Bundle the Delibird. Now, we all know Delibird is not a good Pokemon, but it do be an Ice type, so we were on the copium, thought that we could do some good damage by spamming Ice Punch on Claire before sacking it. But guess what? Delibird does not learn Ice Punch by TM in this game. Pranked! We then go to Route 45. This route has chances of either Skarmory or Gligar, with Gligar odds being 80% or even 100% if we choose to go at night. And we actually go for the guaranteed Gligar, as all our roster, barring Fluff, is weak to Electric, which Scorpio the Gligar should be useful with. Except that, guess what? Gligar does not get any ground moves by level up or by TM. No Earthquake, not even freaking Dig, and it's not like it has the stats to just out-damage anything. Pranked. And last but not least, we went to Ruins of Alpha, where we get Tube the Natu. We actually were excited about that thing even before starting the run in the first place, as Psychic types are not only good for Team Rocket, but also great into Johto's Elite Four. But I present to you Xatu's Natural Learn set. If you want to use a Psychic move on that thing, you either have to use Future Sight, which hits after 2 turns, or wait for level 60 freaking 5 to get Psychic. Oh, and don't even think about not evolving it, because Natu learned Psychic earlier. Natu only learns the move at level 50, which is past the Elite Four. Pranked. Now that this is out of our system, we can focus on the 8th gym leader, Claire, which is always scary. We lead Rapto, which easily 1v1s the first Dragonair. Second Dragonair comes in. We know this thing has Thunderbolt, so we go Fluff, where we resort to Leech Seed, Poison Powder, Synthesis strats to bring it down. The third Dragonair comes in. This one has Ice Beam, so we go Boeing. Using the move Icy Wind, which Price nicely gave us as a TM, we managed to 1v1 the last third of the Dragonair Triad. Now comes the real threat, Kingdra. We switched to All-Nita on a Hyper Beam, which thankfully did not crit. If you're keeping count, this is the third time we bring Noctowl to a gym with its death being fair game. And well, it's the third time it survives like a true legend. We take the recharge turn from Kingdra to change the Mud Slap once and go Gyarados, which immediately dodges 2 moves in a row. We get our accuracy dropped by Smokescreen, so we take the chance of a predicted Hyper Potion to go to Fluff and get a Leech Seed on the Seahorse, after which we go back to Gyarados and 1v1 from there. 8 badges, still deathless. Speaking of that, we head into Tojo Falls, and from there to Kanto. And, of course, we run into exactly the optional Ace Trainer who has a Magneton. And, of course, we did not bring Gligar to maybe save ourselves somehow. Well, rest in peace, Rapto. Your loss is on us, boss. Maybe, only maybe, we can find solace in catching our next encounter in the same routes. Dario the Doduo. After an otherwise very uneventful split, we find ourselves facing the Elite Four. Bruno's Machamp has Rock Slide, which is extremely dangerous against our flying types, but even more importantly, Lantis' team was looking super scary. A lot of strong Pokemon, Blizzard, and Thunder from Dragonite, Stab Rock moves from Aerodactyl. Entering this gauntlet was looking like an absolute bloodbath. With our restricted selection of Pokemon, there has to be a hero, a savior, a Pokemon that would be the one to flip the odds in their face. Enter Home Slice. Home Slice not only has great attack and speed, but also access to Swords Dance at level 42, which, as it turns out, matters a lot. We went in with the team of Home Slice, the Scyther, Gyarados, the Gyarados, Bowing the Mantine, Dario the Dodrio, Fluff the Jumpluff, Normie the Pidgeot. Against Will, we send our Home Slice, which uses Swords Dance once and tanks a Psychic. In case we were hit with Confuse Ray, we had a Bitter Berry equipped. From there, Home Slice gets 3 kills in a row. Slowbro then comes out. Maybe we could have made a full sweep, but we decided not to risk it. We went Gyarados and safely 1v1 the Slowbro. Executor comes out, we went Dario, which turned out to be very stupid as we would be dead to a crit Psychic. But thankfully we were spared and won the first Elite Four fight, deathless. Next up is Koga. We lead Home Slice once again. This time, we get 3 kills through sheer attacking power, including the sometimes tricky Crobat. We switch to Bowing on Fortress, who goes for a very tactical spikes against our mono flying squad and promptly dies after getting a bit of damage on us. Last is Muck, which we spam Surf against and thankfully get a lucky crit. 2 down, 3 to go. Bruno is, once again, a Home Slice lead, as the Bug easily beats Hitmontop. Next up is Onix, on which we go Gyarados and Surf. Hitmonchan is next. We send out Fluff, put it to sleep, and go to Home Slice and click a Swords Dance. Now that Onix is down, we can safely one-shot everything with a boosted Wing Attack. Third Elite Four member down. Next on the chopping block is Karen. We lead Fluff and Leech Seed or Umbreon, then we basically try to hit it with moves and switch around when our accuracy fails. That is until we finally put it to sleep with Fluff. We then go to Dario as Leech Seed finishes the Dark type. Next is Gengar. We drill Peck for massive damage as it kills itself with Curse, letting Murkrow in. We switch to Normie in 1v1 with Fly and Wing Attack. The Houndoom comes in. Thankfully, we have a good answer in Mantine, which was pretty much brought specifically for this guy. Last is Vileplume, which is a safe switch and kill for Dario. We have fought bravely so far, but nothing, not Crobat, not Machamp, not even Houndoom could have prepared us for Lant, who not only has a superior team, but the superior mono flying type team. This is it, the ultimate test to our mastery of the type, and with 6 Pokemon and a dream, we enter the champion room. We lead with Normie and spam Sand Attack on Gyarados. After 6 accuracy drops, we actually keep spamming Sand Attack. What we do now is irrelevant as long as we do not kill this Gyarados. After some time, it finally manages to kill Pidgeot. We go Fluff and put the Titan to sleep. We then switch to the MVP of this gauntlet, Home Slice. We use low accuracy and sleep as a cover to set up Swords Dance 3 times, and from there, it's over. All we have to do is spam Pink Bow Boost to return. We did all the damage calculations. Not Gyarados, not Dragonite, not even Aerodactyl can ever outspeed us or survive a hit. Against all odds, Home Slice absolutely destroys the Gargantuan Lance team with the help of Fluff and of course Normie, the sacrifice of whom will not be forgotten. With the champ title under the wings of our squad, we go to Kanto, which, once again, we will not be running strict level caps for because trash level curve. First up is Surge, which looks hella scary. Thankfully, we have a ground type, right? Right, you piece of absolute trash? Well, this is a ground type, so we're gonna have to make it work somehow. And by somehow, I mean using Fury Cutter. We do lead Leftovers Fury Cutter Gligar, kill Raichu, kill the first Electrode, and we unfortunately miss on the second one. We try a few times with Slash, and a few turns later, Crit Boom, boys, Crit Boom. Maybe we should have used Sand Attack, huh? We send out Fluff on the Magneton, which starts a double team. Uh-oh. This is bad. We try again and again to put it to sleep, and switch out to another Mon each time we're in Lock On, and liable to be hit by a perfectly accurate Zap Cannon. We end up landing a Sleep Powder and a Leech Seed on the Magnet Trio, which cooperates and lets us stall it down. Last is Electabuzz, which we have our healthy Fluff for. We Leech Seed on the Thunder and spam Synthesis and Sleep Powder until, Crit Thunder, boys. Crit Thunder! Thankfully, Home Slice just kills with return from here, but damn, this was rough. 2 losses to crits? Though we should be clear on one thing, crits are part of the game and you should play around them in your Nuzlocke. Maybe we did not have more answers to electric types, but we could have sacked stuff like Exactly or All-Nita to reduce odds of getting crit by the Electabuzz. Anyway, that is 1 Kanto gym down, 7 to go. If Surge was rough, at least there's some easy stuff coming up. Erica is a no-brainer, Dodrio sweep. Sabrina has strong psychic types, but we use our Master Ball to catch a Murkrow east of Celadon, which we named Doom. Doom makes Sabrina absolutely free, a great Pokemon. We can then head for Misty next, but we first go all the way to Fuchsia. Tube, which can now use Psychic thanks to there being a TM and Saffron, easily swept Janine, giving us the Soul Badge, but more importantly, TM06 Toxic, which will be relevant for Misty. We make sure to take the opportunity of being in the area to catch a Chansey in Route 15, which, despite not being a flying type, trades itself for one named Aeroy the Aerodactyl, courtesy of the girl in Route 14. And with that dealt with, we can move on to the actual Misty fights. We use Dario as the lead to 1v1 Golduck, and once Lapras comes along, we switch to All-Nita. This fight is dangerous because 2 of the Pokemon have ice moves, which are obviously good into our roster. We use Mud Slap to lower its accuracy and let All-Nita, the so far owl with 9 lives, fall to another Blizzard. We then send our ice move answer, Leftovers Toxic Protect Mantine. With its ludicrous special defense stat in Leftovers, it will be able to tank so many ice moves while Toxic wears them down. Lapras does according to plan. It pairs songs near the end, but we just switch to Gyarados on the turn it dies. Quagsire comes next, but Gyarados just beats it down no problem. Last is Starmie. We fight it with strength, but switch back to Bowing once it confuses us. We use Toxic and start stalling. We get frozen. But as long as Toxic is in effect, we still 1v1 this. After many turns, Misty uses a full heal, which is kind of weird, she did not use that before. We managed to get defrosted, but we hit ourselves in confusion twice in a row, then get frozen again. What the heck is that? We go Gyarados, we get confused as we hit a strength and go sleeper on a Surf. Apparently, we managed to successfully PP stall Starmie out of Ice Beams. We use Gyarados strength once more, then switch to Corbius now that we know we cannot get Ice Beamed. We spam Bites, but confusion is always annoying. We sack Butterfree and send out Dario for the finish. Drill Peck is not enough, but thankfully Dario tanks the next turf and wins. Damn. That sure was one of the misty fights that could have happened. Pretty ironic that Sleeper and All Nighted died in the same fight. We can now go to Pewter and fight Brock, which is a very easy Gyara sweep thanks to the fossils not having rock moves, despite this being a rock gym. And speaking of Gyarados sweeps, next up is Blaine, which, you guessed it, GG easy, Gyarados is OP. And last but not least is Blue. But before fighting him, we welcome the last addition to our roster, Fearow, the Dratini, which we caught in the Dragon Cave in Johto. Now we can evolve it into Dragonite and use it to win the fight. We easily Thunder Pidgeot, Surf the Rhydon, and Thunder Gyarados. Alakazam is next, and we use Fly, and we miss. We probably still can full sweep from here, but no need to be fancy about it. We go Doom and beat Alakazam, use Gyarados to beat Arcanine, and go back to Hero on Executor, who does not have psychic moves. Easy last gym. And just like that, all gyms are done. All we need to do is beat the red fight, the last hurdle in the way of completing this run. With massive confidence in our birds, we climb Mount Silver and engage the mute Pokemon Master in a fateful encounter. We lead Aerodactyl, which outspeeds and kills Pikachu with Earthquake. Next is Blastoise. We go Mantine and Toxic. After the mandatory Protect, we switch and 1v1 the Poison Turtle with Gyarados. Next is Espeon. Time for Doom to shine. Easy 2-shot with Feint Attack. Snorlax comes in. Snorlax can always be dangerous, but we borrow a page from the Book of Secret the Cloister and switch to Aerodactyl. Arrow might not be bulky, but it resists normal moves and can therefore PP stall Body Slam PP. We try to finish with Gyarados, but Snore damage is still not negligible, so we just go back to Arrow and fully PP stall and win the 1v1. Venusaur comes next. We fly up as it charges a Solar Beam. We do not kill it with Fly as we almost died a non-crit Solar Beam. Maybe we should have used something else for this, but risking Arrow was no problem in that position as it completed its duties. Last is Charizard. We go Bowing, but we get crit. Being dead to another crit, we elect to go Hero, and we get crit again, but it doesn't matter. Dragonite is too strong, and even if it didn't win, we had Arrow, Gyarados, and Tube all ready to take down this guy. And just like that, Red is down. An absolute blast of a monologue. We hope that you enjoyed the story of how the Flyers of Johto managed to dodge all the pitfalls and handle all the challenges and stay above the competition. As always, feel free to clown our plays in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. On that note, have a nice one.